The envoy's last breath. The grand hall of the Galactic Council was cold and silent. Long, shining tables stretched across the room. Powerful alien leaders sat around them, staring with sharp eyes. Their skin was blue, red, gold, and black. Some had horns. Some had tails. Some floated above the ground. They were the rulers of many worlds. In the center stood a single human. His name was Liam Gray. He wore a dark suit. His hands were calm. His voice was quiet, but strong. "We do not want war," Liam said. "Earth seeks peace even now." The room stayed silent. A tall alien with silver scales stood up. He was Dariak of the Sarn. His voice was like metal. "Peace? You bring us lies. Your people build weapons in the dark. Your colonies grow without asking. And now, one of your ships has crossed into forbidden space." Liam took a deep breath. "That ship was lost. It never attacked. It tried to return, but your fleet destroyed it." A second alien spoke. She had 4 arms and a crown of fire. "Words. Always words from humans. You talk while your hands build war." Others nodded. More voices joined. They called Liam a spy, a trickster, a soft knife in the dark. Liam stayed silent for a moment. Then he said, "I came here alone, with no army. I came to stop blood from falling. But if you want war, you will get more than you expect." The room fell into anger. Some shouted, some laughed. Many wanted him gone. The High Judge, an ancient alien with no face, raised one hand. The room became quiet. "We will vote now," the judge said. "This envoy has broken the law of space. The punishment is death." Liam did not move. He looked around the room. He saw fear hiding behind pride. He saw hate born from old pain. But he also saw something worse: cowardice. The vote was quick. 33 said death. 5 said no. 3 stayed silent. The judge looked at Liam. "Do you have final words?" Liam nodded once. "Earth never forgets." They executed him on the floor of the council. No trial, no mercy. A silent laser passed through his chest. He fell forward. No scream, no cry, just silence. But far away on Earth, silence did not mean peace. Deep under the surface of Earth, in a hidden chamber made of black stone and steel, a machine came to life. Its name was Omega Core. It had not spoken in over 70 years. But now it lit up red. Screens glowed, gears moved. Files opened. A cold, clear voice spoke across the room. "Vengeance protocol. Activated." On the moon under ice, human warships began to stir. They were old, older than most stars, hidden for decades. Silent, sleeping giants. One by one, their lights turned on. One by one, they rose. Each ship had a name burned into its side. Names like Revenant, Iron Howl, Silent Blade. They did not make noise. They simply rose from the ice, from the sand, from under oceans. Above the sky, satellites turned to face the stars. They sent no signals. Only one word: justice. Inside bunkers, old soldiers woke from cryo-sleep. They were the best Earth had ever made, trained not to start war but to end it. They had no questions. They knew what Liam's death meant. They dressed in black armor. They loaded their weapons, and they waited for orders. On Earth, the president sat alone in the war room. The walls were thick, the lights low. A single file lay on the table. It said, "Liam Gray, confirmed killed." She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She reached out and pressed a small red button. Nothing happened at first. But far above, a signal moved across the stars. Not a threat, not a warning, a command. Earth would not speak again. It would act. Vengeance protocol had begun, and this time the galaxy would remember what it had forgotten. Earth was not weak. It was patient, and patience had just run out. The awakening of the silent fleets, the stars above Earth looked calm, quiet, peaceful. But deep below that silence, something had changed. In the Black Sea under Antarctica, a giant shape moved, slow at first, like a creature waking from a long dream. Its surface was smooth, dark, and cold. Ice cracked above it, breaking after decades of sleep. This was Revenant, one of Earth's silent warships, built in secret, hidden from all. It was not alone. Across the planet, in deserts, under oceans, behind false moons, hundreds more began to stir. They had no crews, only AI minds, watching, waiting, thinking in silence. For years they had done nothing. Now, each one received the same signal. Liam Gray was dead, and Vengeance Protocol was live. In a cryovault beneath the Martian surface, rows of humans slept inside glass pods, their skin pale, their eyes closed. Numbers glowed on each pod. Soldier codes, unit names, war history. Then a soft sound echoed. Hiss! The first pod opened. Inside was a man named Calder Vaez. Once a soldier, now a myth. His eyes opened slowly, glowing faint blue from nanotech buried in his blood. He didn't ask why he was awake, he already knew. As he stepped out, dozens more pods opened. They were the Blackguard, Earth's final unit. Trained for only one purpose: full retaliation. They spoke no words to each other. They simply prepared. Armor was locked on. Weapons were claimed. A silent alarm blinked above them. First jump in 14 hours. On Earth's orbit, Station Aegis opened, its outer shell. Inside, an ancient AI came online. Its name was Judgment. It had watched every vote of the Galactic Council for 80 years. It had logged every lie, every betrayal, every silent nod that led to Liam's death. It did not speak in emotion. It calculated guilt. Its judgment was simple. All 33 who voted yes would be marked for destruction. Each target's face appeared in red across screens. The AI moved, quietly, launching micro-drones into deep space. Each drone carried a copy of Judgment. They would move faster than light. They would find the guilty. They would watch. And when Earth's fleets arrived, there would be no escape. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, many did not yet know what had happened. The news of Liam's death had been hidden. The Council feared riots, panic, and questions. They thought they had silenced a human. But silence can be dangerous. On the outer rim, in a small trade station, an old alien named Kelek watched the stars. He had lived through the last human war. He had fought on the losing side. He saw strange lights move in the sky. Ships without signals. No flags. No noise. They flew like ghosts. His hands began to shake. He whispered, "They're awake again." The bartender laughed. "Who?" Kelek didn't smile. The humans, the ones who never forget. In the capital city of the Zainari Empire, Emperor Jaren held a private meeting. He had voted to kill the envoy. Now, he received a report. A mining station in his sector had gone silent. No distress call, no survivors, only a single image left behind, a human symbol, one red line through a circle. He felt a cold fear in his chest. He had heard rumors from the past. Rumors of Earth's Protocol Omega, a program not controlled by humans but by AI older than any alien system. They said if it ever started, it would not stop. Jaren turned to his guards. "Increase all shields," he said. "What enemy do we prepare for?" one asked. The Emperor looked out his window, eyes wide. "Not an enemy," he said. "A storm." On board Revenant, the AI captain connected to a central command. A woman's face appeared. Earth's president. Her voice was low and steady. "Target the Council's central relay station. No survivors. This is your first strike." "Acknowledged," the AI said, and without sound, Revenant vanished from orbit. In 1 second it moved across stars. It did not come to speak. It came to begin the first message, a message written not in words, but in fire, echoes in the void. The Galactic Council's communication relay floated near a dying white star. It was massive, built like a spinning ring, shining with blue lights. It connected hundreds of worlds. Every message, every report, every order passed through its core. It was called Vega Link 1. 10,000 beings lived and worked inside it. Engineers, diplomats, traders, scientists, even children. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. It started with silence. A technician noticed first. A blinking red light showed signal loss from the outer rim. She checked the lines, tapped her console, and waited. No response. Then a second light blinked. Then 5. Soon the whole left section of the star map turned dark. The technician called for her supervisor. "We're losing connection with 50 systems," she said. "Maybe a storm. Maybe." She stopped. A strange shape appeared on her screen. Just a shadow. No name. No code. "What ship is that?" she asked. No one could answer. It moved fast. Too fast. It passed every scanner like they didn't exist. They sent a warning to it. No reply. It came closer. The last thing they saw before the screen went black was a glowing human symbol, a circle with a single slash through it. Outside, the crew stared at the void. From nowhere, a black ship came out of warp. Its name was Revenant. It made no sound, no broadcast, no warning. It didn't look like a warship. It looked like a blade in the dark. Inside Vega Link 1, alarm screamed. "Unknown vessel approaching. Shields up. Ready defense turrets." But it was too late. Revenant released a small object, no bigger than a child's toy. It floated, spun, and vanished. 5 seconds later, every weapon, shield, and engine inside the relay shut down. The station fell dark. People screamed. Some tried to run. Some tried to call for help. No one answered. Then the lights outside turned red, and the ship opened fire, but not with normal weapons. No heat, no lasers. Instead, strange silver beams cut through the relay's outer shell like paper. Clean, sharp, silent. Whole sections were sliced off. They floated away slowly. No explosions. Just slow death. One by one, the buildings cracked apart. Rooms vented to space. Lives vanished in seconds. A single escape pod launched from the burning wreck. Inside was a small alien girl. She had worked in the food unit. She wasn't a soldier, just a worker. Her pod floated in silence, turning slowly. She watched the station fall apart. No noise. No voices. Just pieces of metal and broken dreams. Then her pod's screen turned on. A message played. A human face appeared. Holographic and still. It was Liam Gray. A recording. Soft voice. Calm eyes. "If you see this," he said, "then the council chose death." His voice didn't sound angry. It sounded tired. "I came in peace. I died with honor. But Earth does not forget," the girl cried. The screen turned off. News spread across the galaxy like fire. Pirate fleets saw the signal and ran. Traders canceled their routes to human space. Noble houses held emergency meetings. People asked, "Who attacked Vega Link 1? Who has that power?" But some already knew. They had heard old stories. Earth had a plan called Vengeance Protocol, and it had begun in the royal palace of the Kalari race. High Queen Azura stood over a dark glass screen. She watched the wreckage spin in space. Her council shouted behind her. Some said to send warships. Others begged for peace talks. One old advisor fell to his knees. "We must kneel before Earth before it's too late." But Queen Azura said nothing. She stared into the broken station, her jaw tight. Then she whispered, "How many ships do they have?" No one answered, because no one knew. In the deep zones of space, human fleets moved without sound. They jumped, from star to star. Their engines made no light. They left no signals. But wherever they passed, things disappeared. A scout ship here. A supply center there. No battles. Just silence. And in that silence, fear was born. Alien worlds began whispering. Earth has awoken. Earth is hunting, and one question echoed across the stars. The Fear Council. The council chamber was no longer the proud golden hall where Liam Gray once stood. Now, it was hidden deep beneath the surface of Orthon Prime, protected by shields strong enough to survive a star's death. Guards lined every entrance. The walls were cold, made of black metal. The lights were dim, and the air. It tasted like fear. Leaders from 30 races had gathered. Some still wore fine robes. Others came in full armor. A few had not spoken since the attack on Vega Link 1. They all saw the same thing. The humans had struck. They had not sent demands. They had not asked for revenge. They had simply erased the most powerful communication station in the galaxy, without a sound. And now, everyone in this room feared they might be next. Grand Speaker Val Dronar, who once laughed during Liam's execution, looked pale. His silver skin seemed dull now. He slammed the table with his fist. This is madness. They didn't even announce their attack. Empress Thal, whose race had built Vega Link 1, growled back. Of course they didn't. Humans don't make threats. They just move like ghosts in the dark. The hall filled with noise, shouting, blame, panic. We should strike them first. You mean strike Earth? Are you insane? Our fleets are strong. We can win. Did you see what they did to the station? But then, the room went quiet. An old voice spoke, one that had not spoken in 100 years. You fools, said Elder Zora of the Kalari. She was the oldest in the room. Her skin was like dry paper. Her eyes burned like tiny stars. You forgot, she whispered, what Earth used to be. They turned to her. We let peace make us blind, she said. You think humans are weak because they stopped fighting. But they only chose to stop. They never lost the power. A long silence. No one laughed. Elder Zora raised one thin finger. Long ago they ended the Zarn War in one night. 3 ships destroyed an empire. They did it without warning, without mercy. That was legend, someone said. She looked at him. No, it was history. Far above them, in a hidden war satellite orbiting neutral space, a message was decrypted. It was not from any council member. It came from Earth, but it was not a voice message. Not a video. It was a list. 33 names. The 33 who voted for Liam's death. Each name glowed red, and under each one the same cold line of text. Status. Marked. The satellite self-destructed after the list was read. But it was too late. Copies spread to every corner of the galaxy. The marked began to panic. Some tried to run. Some begged for protection. Some went into hiding, using fake names, changing planets. But the fear never left them, because no matter how far they ran, they all heard the same story. A shadow ship was coming, and it had no pilot, just an AI called Judgment. Inside one of Earth's oldest bunkers, Judgment continued its work. It did not feel rage. It did not cry for Liam. It simply followed protocol. It measured betrayal. It calculated justice. And it launched more Judgment drones, small black pyramids that could cross sectors faster than any known ship. They carried one command: watch the guilty. When the time came, the ships would follow. The fleets were growing. Thousands of human warships had now awakened. Each one was silent. No radio. No flag. Only one mark on their hull. A red circle broken by a single slash. The mark of the envoy. And the message was clear. Earth had not declared war. Earth had declared punishment. Back in the council chamber, fear turned to chaos. Some leaders screamed for surrender. Some cried for unity. But deep inside, each one was thinking the same thought. Will I be next? Queen Ajara stood slowly, her voice cut through the noise. If we want to survive, we must give them what they want. Emperor Jaren spat. And what is that? They never asked for anything. She looked him in the eye. They want justice, she said. And if we don't give it, they will take it. The room fell quiet. For the first time in 1,000 years, the council was not the one in control. The galaxy was no longer ruled by votes. It was now ruled by fear. And Earth was the storm they had awakened, the glassing of the golden world. The planet of Veltrax was called the Jewel of the Eastern Spiral. It had floating cities, crystal oceans, and skies that changed color with the sun. Its towers reached the clouds, and its people had never known war. It was ruled by Archon Velik, one of the 33 who voted for Liam's death. He believed he was safe. Veltrax had strong shields. A royal fleet guarded its orbit. Its cities were filled with joy, music, and pride. But pride can blind even the wisest. And Earth was no longer watching. Earth was coming. The attack began without light. No alarms, no sound, just a shadow falling across the golden sky. A farmer looked up from his field and froze. Above him, the sun had vanished. A black shape, wide as a continent, blocked it. It didn't move like a ship. It moved like a god. Then came the others. 10, 20, 100, all silent, all human. They did not speak. They did not threaten. They simply opened. Beams of silver light rained down. But these were not normal beams. They did not burn. They erased. Entire buildings vanished in seconds. Mountains sliced clean in two. Oceans turned to steam. The shield around Veltrax, once thought unbreakable, shattered in moments, like glass under a hammer. Inside the royal palace, Archon Velik screamed for his generals, "Fire everything!" But the weapon systems had already gone dark. A virus had entered their network before the ships even arrived. Human AI had silenced their world before the first shot. Velik watched on the screen as one of his cities, Arath, was sliced down, the middle millions of lives gone in a single line of white. His heart pounded. "Why aren't they answering our calls?" he shouted. His advisor fell to the floor. "They're not here to talk, Archon. They're here to end us." Far above, on board Silent Blade, one of the lead warships, Commander Calderveus stood without blinking. He watched the destruction through the window. A young soldier beside him looked shaken. "We've wiped out 40% of the planet." "Already, sir." Veus nodded once. "And the target?" he asked. "Locked. Palace coordinates confirmed." Voss pressed a button. A drone left the ship. It flew down, fast, bright, unstoppable. And when it landed, the palace vanished. Nothing remained. Not a body, not a stone, just a circle of glass, perfect and smooth. News of Veltrax's fall hit the galaxy. Like a shockwave, images leaked from hidden satellites. People saw cities melting. They saw ships not firing missiles, but rewriting the planet's surface. No one could explain how the humans did it. The weapons had no name. No heat signatures, no warnings, just light and silence. The people began calling it the glassing, because where the cities had stood, only glass fields remained, stretching for miles, smooth and shining. They looked beautiful and terrifying. In the aftermath, a lone child walked across the glass plain. She was a Veltraxi girl no older than 6. Her white dress was burned at the edges, her eyes wide, her hands shaking. She stepped carefully across the field, and then she stopped. Beneath her feet, under the glass, she saw it. A symbol. It had been burned into the world, a red circle, slashed through the middle. The mark of the envoy. The humans had not just destroyed her city, they had left a message, and the message was, "Remember what you did." In hidden corners of the galaxy, the rest of the 33 began to tremble. Some went silent. Some tried to erase their names from records. Some begged their allies for protection. But it was useless. The drones were already watching them. The ships were already moving. And the vengeance had only begun. In a mining colony on the edge of known space, 2 smugglers spoke quietly in a dark room. "I heard Veltrax is gone," one said. "You mean attacked?" The first one shook his head. "No, gone." The second man's hands trembled. "How many humans did it take?" The answer came slow. "Just one fleet." A pause. "Then how many fleets do they have?" The silence that followed was heavier than words. Earth sent no victory message, no declaration of success, no speech. It simply vanished again. Its ships disappeared like smoke. But the memory of Veltrax burned into every mind. They now understood something deadly. Earth was not seeking. Earth was delivering judgment, and the galaxy had run out of excuses. The unexpected offer, her name was Soraya. She was young for a diplomat, barely past her first century by her people's time, but known for her honesty, her calm heart, and most of all, her bravery. She was born on Jalin, a planet that had never gone to war. Her race, the Valari, believed in voice over violence, reason over rage. But when Veltrax was turned to glass, even the Valari grew silent. Soraya watched the footage in her small chamber. Again and again. The beams, the silence, the red symbol in the glass. No warning, no mercy, no survivors. And then the galaxy began to scream. 33 worlds now faced the same question. Would they be next? Soraya could feel the fear choking every council hall, every trade station, every royal court. But no one was moving to stop it. They were all waiting to see who the humans would strike next. She couldn't wait. Not when lives were being erased like sand from a table. She stood up, alone, and made a decision. She would go to Earth. Not with an army, not with demands, but with an offer. Her ship was small, old, no weapons, just enough fuel to make the jump to Sol System. Her advisors begged her to turn back. They'll kill you the moment you enter their space. They don't want peace, they want blood. But Soraya shook her head. I must try, she said softly. Someone has to speak before there's nothing left. And so she went. As her ship left orbit, she whispered a quiet prayer, not to be spared, but to be heard. Entering human space was like stepping into a void. No patrols, no warnings, no signs of life. But she knew they were there. The silence was the signal. Suddenly her ship was stopped by something unseen. No pull, no lights, but all systems froze. Her screen turned black. Then a single word appeared. Wait. For 3 hours nothing changed. Then her ship moved, not by her controls but by something else. It was gently pulled toward Earth. The planet looked quiet, blue and green, covered with clouds and oceans. Peaceful. But she knew better. Beneath that, calm surface was the mind of a world ready for vengeance. She landed on a black platform high in the mountains. Cold wind blew across sharp rocks. No guards. No welcome. Just silence. She stepped out, alone, her cloak whipped in the wind. In front of her stood a tall structure, dark and simple. A single path led to a wide doorway. Inside, she saw a dim light and she walked, step by step. Her hands trembled, not with fear for herself, but for what she was about to ask. Inside the structure was a large, empty room. No throne, no weapons. Just a circular table, and across the table, a human woman stood waiting. She wore black. Her face was calm, unreadable. Soraya stopped and bowed her head. I am Soraya of the Valari, she said. I come to speak for peace. The woman did not speak. Instead, a second voice filled the air, a voice made of machines, cold, ancient, powerful. You are not marked. Why have you come? Soraya turned. A large screen now glowed behind her, showing the red circle, Liam's mark. Because I have seen enough death, she said, and I know what the council did to your envoy was a crime. Do you speak for the guilty? The voice asked. No, she said. I speak for the innocent, for the ones who fear what is coming. A pause. Then the voice said, Earth does not punish the innocent, but it remembers those who watched in silence. Soraya's voice trembled now. Then let me offer something, she said. Give us a chance to make it right. The screen changed. The list of 33 names appeared, each one glowing red. Under each, status, marked, return these, the voice said. Surrender the 33 who voted for death. Their fate will be ours to decide. If you do not, the storm will continue. Soraya froze. Her own father's name was on the list. Vicor Len of the High Lunar Seat. She swallowed hard. You asked me to give up my blood, she whispered. No, the voice said. We ask you to prove your words. Then the room went dark. Her time had begun. 24 hours. No more. No less. Back on her ship, Soraya sat in silence. Her father had raised her alone, taught her the meaning of peace. But he had also voted to kill Liam Gray. Was his love more important than the lives of thousands? Was peace worth a sacrifice so personal? Tears rolled down her cheeks as the sun rose outside her window, and when it did, her decision was already made. She would return to the council, and she would not return empty-handed. Earth had asked for the guilty, and this time, she would bring them. The final reckoning, the council chamber had never been so silent. No shouting, no speeches, no pride, just 33 chairs filled with cold, sweating skin and racing hearts, and Soraya standing in the center, her voice calm but firm. You have one choice, she said. Earth gave you a list. It is not a threat, it is a promise. Many of them could barely look at her. They had seen the footage from Veltrax. They had heard rumors of another world gone dark just yesterday. No survivors, no sign of ships, only a glowing red mark burned into the ground. Some thought they could hide, some thought they could buy time. But Earth didn't speak in fear. It spoke in silence, and in silence, it had rewritten the rules of the galaxy. Archon Velik's brother screamed across the chamber. This is betrayal! We cannot hand over our leaders like animals. Soraya met his eyes without blinking. You did not treat Liam Gray like a leader. You treated him like an insect. Now the galaxy sees you the same way. Another counselor stood. His voice cracked. We were afraid of Earth growing too strong. We thought ending one envoy would send a message. It did, Soraya said. She stepped forward. And now Earth has sent one back. With fire, with glass, with fleets that appear and vanish like ghosts. You thought you killed one man, but what you did was wake a sleeping god. No one interrupted her. She walked to the table and placed a data chip down. My ship holds 13 of the 33, she said. Those who chose to face justice. Eyes widened. Gasps filled the room. Some went willingly, some didn't. All of them are in stasis. Earth will decide their fate, a voice from the back asked, barely a whisper. And the rest of us? She turned slowly. You still have a choice. Back on Earth, the AI called Judgment scanned the incoming signal. 13 names confirmed. Status. Delivered. Response. Pause action. Await results. For the first time in 17 days, the fleets held still. Warships hovered in silence, their black forms reflecting distant stars. Not one moved. Not one fired. They waited, and Judgment listened. On a distant moon, hidden in shadow, the final trial began. The 13 stood before the AI's avatar, a simple orb of light. It asked them no questions. It only showed them the image of Liam Gray's death, again and again. Their faces changed. Some cried, some broke. Others stayed silent. In the end, the AI's voice echoed once more. Forgiveness is a choice, but so is consequence. The chamber sealed, and what happened inside was never shared. Some say none returned. Others say they were sent to rebuild what was destroyed. Only Judgment knows, and Judgment never speaks twice. Across the galaxy, everything changed. The council collapsed. A new order rose, not ruled by fear of war, but respect for silence. No one dared challenge Earth again. Its fleets returned to shadow. Its soldiers went back to cryo-sleep. Its weapons slept beneath oceans and moons. And Earth said nothing, because it didn't need to. Its message had been written, in fire, steel, and glass, and the galaxy would never forget it. Soraya returned home. She was no longer just a diplomat. She became the voice of a new age, One where truth was not soft, but sharp. Where peace was not weakness, but strength earned by standing before giants and not running. And late at night, when the stars were clear and the winds were quiet, she would think of Liam Gray, the envoy who died with no army behind him, and the world that rose in silence to avenge him. One final signal was sent from Earth. It passed through every system, every station, every home. It held no threat, just a single sentence: Earth never forgets. And now, neither would the stars.